Let's continue now by creating the floor and the walls of the courtyard. So let's switch back to a view where we can see this from the top. Now, this is always scrolling outside of our view, so let's do something here. Right click, go and select our ceiling, and go to the second selection, and this flyout has a white circle. That will allow us to do an arc rotate about the selected object. Go back to the 4 viewport configuration. And we're actually going to hide that selected object now. So let's right click. We'll click on hide selection. So we're back with our reference rectangle here, which is at level 0. We're going to need to copy this again. So we'll select it, go to Edit, Clone, create a copy, and we're going to call this actually Courtyard Floor. I'm going to zoom in, make sure it's selected, convert it to an editable spline. Go to the spline level as before. And go ahead and create an outline of 30 centimeters or 12 inches. Once again, we don't need the original line, so we'll delete it. Let's create another copy. And we're going to call this one Courtyard Floor Hallway. We're going to go into the spline level, but this time here through the top of the modifier list. It's a little bit easier in our case here. We'll select that spline. We want to create an outline which is 360 centimeters or 12 feet from that inner line, and we also have to add the 30 centimeters or 1 foot additional. So we'll go here to 390 or 13 feet minus 390. Click on outline. So that's going to be our floor area. Up at the top, get out of the spline level. Once again, I want you to create another clone. This we're going to call Courtyard Walls. Go back into the editable spline level. We have 2 splines. We just want the outer one. Select the inner one, click on delete. Now we have a number of different splines that are one on top of the other here, and it's a little hard to see them. So we're going to select them through the Select by Name button. Again, we have to get out of the sub-object level before we do that. So we'll go here, click on this button, select from Scene, and first thing is we're going to select this one. And actually right click and select hide selection. We could type the letter H, get back to select from scene, click on the floor. 2 things we want to do. One is to lower this floor. So we're going to click on it. going to use a value of minus 15 or 6 inches. And the second thing what we'll do is we're going to add an extrude modifier to it, except we're not really going to extrude it very much. Actually, we're going to set the extrude value to 0. It's already set to something for you, set it back to 0. All that will do is give us a flat plane. Let's give it a color so we can distinguish it from other things. Dismiss the move transfer type in. Let's go to type H again and select Courtyard Floor Hallway. We don't want to move this one. This will be our Z is equal to 0 level. And we do want to add an extrude modifier. We do want to extrude it actually in the negative direction, so it creates a bit of a curve between the hallway floor and the floor of the courtyard. So we'll type here minus 15 or 6 inches. And you can see here in our orthographic view how it's created a bit of a curve. So let's go ahead and select the walls. Good idea to give it perhaps a different color so we can see it. We need to actually do a little bit of a shell here because we don't want it to be a solid object here when we do an extrusion. So we'll go back to outline, give ourselves, let's say, probably doesn't really matter what value, but let's try something like minus 15 or 6 inches. Get out of this line level. And now we'd like to take that spline and extrude it a total of 450 centimeters or 15 feet. So you can see that gives us a bit of a box shape there, walls, there's our corridor, and let's bring back our other objects here. We can go and do a unhide all. We could select that ceiling there and change its color a little bit to just again so we can see different colors, we could see our different objects. We could look at this in wireframe and see what we've been doing so far. If we wanted to, we could go to the create panel, camera, create a target camera, place one here, set it to something fairly wide angle lens. Let's right click in the left view, type the letter C, and go to a shaded view. And just scroll down so we can see what we've been doing.